If I were president of the United States, one solution that I would implement right away would be to bring back and revamp FDR's fireside chats, which were a series of radio broadcasts where FDR would speak directly to the American public. But here's how I'd improve it. I'm essentially suggesting a live stream presidential podcast, so it would be audio and video. And I wouldn't do these by myself. Each episode, we would have two political guests. They would change per episode. In addition, we would really hone in on detail. And to do that, each episode would be an hour to 2 hours long, so long format, and each episode would focus on just one problem and at most two possible solutions to try to fix that problem. So you, the American public, you're going to get a front row seat to policymaking, and an unedited one because it's going to be live streamed to you. And maybe on the right-hand side of the screen, as we're discussing, we'll have a blank Word document. And that Word document will fill up with sort of the main bullet points to the policy or solution that we're creating. And it would be written in English, not legalese. Well, let's say on this episode, I'm talking to Nancy Pelosi and Rand Paul. They're sitting right next to me. The topic is getting the money out of politics. So I might say, Nancy, Rand, thanks for coming. Politics is corrupt. We need to get the money out of it. And one way to do it, I'm going to propose that we build a $0 campaign solution for politicians. Let's get into it. No matter what two guests I have as president, no matter what topic we're covering, there are 4 ways that these presidential live stream podcasts can work out, and they're all a home run for the American public. The first scenario is Nancy and Rand, in this case, they show up, they love the idea of this $0 campaign solution, and when they go out into the real world, they actually try to make it happen. I think that scenario speaks for itself. Second scenario, Nancy and Rand show up, they love the idea, but then when they leave, they don't take any action. We can sort of follow up with them. They don't practice what they preach. You, as the American public, you just had a in-depth, hour and a half, 2-hour detailed view of them discussing how much they liked something, and then they did nothing about it. Hopefully that usurps the ever-confusing news cycle. You bring that with you to the voting poll. Third scenario, they hate the idea, but you really like it. So you know precisely in detail how much they disagree with you. Again, that's going to give a little more oomph when you go to the voting polls. In the fourth scenario, which is my favorite, Nancy and Rand, they never show up. They somehow just don't make it to the couch. We can get value from this. Luckily, you have a very clever president, if I do say so. On the White House website, not only will I have published the schedule of all the politicians that appeared along with the corresponding topics, but in a much larger font point size, I would also publish all the politicians that didn't make it to the couch, that didn't make it to an episode, either because they said no, or they no-showed me, which would be crazy, or they never even RSVP'd. Because you as the American public know that if any message was received, it's a message that came from the president to another politician. They know they received an invite, and they also know the topic that I wanted to discuss. So again, you can take that to the voting poll as well. And I think at a certain point, lots of politicians are not going to want to miss out sitting on this couch next to the president and making policy live in front of the general public. I think it's something that will have a lot of positive ripple effects. This is not something that I would have to go through a lot of hoops. I could just start it right away. It's not a left versus right thing. It's not a conservative versus liberal thing. It's really more of a critical thinking thing. If you like it, let me know in the comment section. If you don't, beat me up in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.